subject of human misjudgment. I don't have too much interest in teaching other people how to get rich. And that isn't because I fear the competition. I saw this patterned irrationality, which was so extreme, and I had no theory or anything to deal with it. I just started to create my own system of psychology, partly by casual reading, but largely from personal experience. And I used that pattern to help me get through life. I'd like to share that with you. Standard causes of human misjudgment. First, simple psychological denial. This first really hit me between the eyes when a friend of our family had a super athlete, super student son who flew off a carrier in the North Atlantic and never came back. And his mother, who was a very sane woman, just never believed he was dead. Simple psychological denial. The reality is too painful to bear, so you just distort it until it's bearable. We all do that to some extent, and it's a common psychological misjudgment that causes terrible problems. Agency costs. Here, my early experience was a doctor who thought that the gallbladder was the source of all medical evil, and that if you really loved your patients, you couldn't get that organ out rapidly enough. He sent bushel baskets full of normal gallbladders down to the pathology lab in a leading hospital in Lincoln, Nebraska. Human nature causes this terrible abuse. So you're getting your advice in this world from your paid advisor with this huge load of ghastly bias. You can hire your advisor and then just apply a windage factor, like I used to do when I was a rifle shooter. You just adjust for so many miles an hour of wind. You can learn the basic elements of your advisor's trade. You don't have to learn very much, by the way, because you learn just a little, and you can make him explain why he's right. Bias from consistency and commitment tendency. And this is a superpower in error-causing psychological tendency. The human mind is a lot like the human egg, and the human egg has a shut-off device. When sperm gets in, it shuts down so the next one can't get in. The human mind has a big tendency of the same sort. And here again, it doesn't just catch ordinary mortals, it catches the deans of physics. According to Max Planck, the really innovative, important new physics was never really accepted by the old guard. Instead, a new guard came along that was less brain-blocked by its previous conclusions. And if Max Planck's crowd had this commitment tendency in spite of disconfirming evidence, you can imagine what the crowd that you and I are part of behaves like. And of course, if you make a public disclosure of your conclusion, you're pounding it in to your own head. Many of these students that are screaming at us, they aren't convincing us, but they're forming mental chains for themselves, because what they're shouting out, they're pounding in. Bias from Pavlovian association, misconstruing past correlation as a reliable basis for decision-making. I never took a course in psychology or economics either, for that matter, but I did learn about Pavlov in high school biology. So the dog salivated when the bell rang. So what? The Pavlovian association is an enormously powerful psychological force in the daily life of all of us. I'd say 3/4 of advertising works on pure Pavlov. Take Coca-Cola Company. They want to be associated with every wonderful image. Heroics in the Olympics, wonderful music, you name it. They don't want to be associated with presidents' funerals. When have you seen a Coca-Cola ad associated with bad psychologically rooted tendencies? All these psychological tendencies work largely or entirely on a subconscious level, which makes them very insidious. Talking about economics, you've got two products. Now, you think under the laws of economics that if product A costs X plus something, if product B costs X minus something, it will sell better.